Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baharuchak Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazagba with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, this is basically just going to be responding to the Apostle Tahar's lesson. You know, he put it out there for brothers that want to go into this topic, to go into how we properly know when to keep the Sabbath. And it's based off of the IUIC's teachings that the Sabbath is Friday to Saturday, which is incorrect. When you go into the scriptures, you know, it's impossible for the Sabbath to fall on Friday to Saturday every single month. Once you understand how you are supposed to keep it according to the Bible, you know, and it's very simple to understand, which is why this lesson is going to be real quick. And if if it's something that's not understood, you know, it's you know, either the Lord blocked you to it, or you don't want to keep it that way, you know. And you know, it is what it is, you know. So let's get into it. We're going to start off in Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, which says, and the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So those lights that were created were the sun and the moon. We see their purpose. It was for signs, seasons, days, and years. Before there was a calendar, before there were clocks, watches, you had the sun and the moon that served the purpose that these objects or that these tools serve. Before there was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before there were the months as we know it as January, February, March, April, we didn't keep time like that. These were things that were created way later by Esau, and we just use those systems today. But in ancient times, we went off of the sun and the moon. Well, we mainly the moon to keep the days. That's when we knew when the new month came in. We counted the days. We went, you know, this is the 4th day, this is the 5th day, you know, and we're going to get into it. Let's go to Sirach chapter 43 and verse 6. It says, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. So it's basically giving the same description of the moon that it gave in Genesis chapter 1 of its purpose. You know, now let's read verse 8. It says, the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. It says the month is called after her name. The month is decided by the moon. When we get into the word month, we're just going to get straight to the point. The word month goes back to moon. It says originally the month was the interval between one new moon and the next. So it's saying right here the new moon is how you decide the month. From new moon to new moon, that is a month. And so I want to grab one more thing in the book of Genesis, which is going to show us how to properly count the days. And then we're going to count days to show this is how we know how the Sabbath is kept. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, which says, and the power said, let there be light, and there was light. And the powers saw the light, that it was good, and the powers divided the light from the darkness. And the powers called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So I grabbed this to show that the way that days are properly kept is that in the evening, that's when the day starts. From sundown to sundown is a day. And today's time, we keep it where when the sun comes up, that's when the day starts. But that's not how we properly keep it. We keep it from sundown to sundown. And so we know that through the creation story, you know, there were 6 days where everything was being created and made. And then when we go to Genesis chapter 2, it tells us about the 7th day. Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day the powers ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And the powers blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all the work which the powers created and made. So this is the origin of the Sabbath. This is the origin of how we keep that seventh day today, where it's a holy day, it's a rest day, it's sanctified. We don't buy, sell, we don't cook, we don't work, and we keep it to the best of our ability. Being in captivity today, we can't keep it in its perfection, but I come here to show that the way that you're supposed to count it, it's sundown to sundown up until that seventh day, and you would. So let's use this chart here. Was showing the phases of the moon. So you see this new moon has no number above it because this is day 0. This is the beginning. This is the start of the month. And so let's say, for example, this new moon came in on a Wednesday evening. So if that new moon is Wednesday evening, boom, Wednesday to Thursday evening is day 1. Thursday to Friday is day 2. Friday to Saturday is day 3. Saturday to Sunday is day 4. Sunday to Monday is day 5. Monday to Tuesday is day 6. And then Tuesday to Wednesday evening is day 7. That's the first Sabbath. And it's based off when the new moon came in. And so this is showing that, it's not always going to be Friday sundown and Saturday sundown, because the new moon comes in on a Wednesday sometimes. The new moon can come in each day of the week. Now, crazy enough, during this new moon cycle, the Sabbath is Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. But next week, on the 27th, when the new moon comes in, it's going to come in on a Sunday sundown. But when you keep the Sabbath properly, it shows you that this system of the days of the week, this wasn't how the Most High intended for it to be. It was just supposed to be that the new moon was the beginning of the month, and then you just count the days until the next new moon. That's how your month works, And so whatever day the new moon falls, this is how you would keep it. Once that evening comes, once that new moon comes in, that's day 0. And then you just count it up to that day 7, and you repeat the process again after that Sabbath. Once, like we used the example, if the Sabbath came in Wednesday evening, you do the same thing. Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday, day 9, Friday to Saturday, day 10, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, day 15. And you do the same thing to where, boom, you got the new moon, and the cycle repeats. Just like that's the reason why there's no number in front of that new moon, because boom, day 0, this is the beginning, this is the start. So Lord's will, that was edifying. Once again, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.